Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 21st, and we will get started in 19 minutes. So if you are watching this after the live show, you can fast forward 19 minutes to watch the show. We will get started in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Good morning, everyone. We will officially get started in 2 minutes. I thought I'd just start chatting with you just a bit. Thank you for the 73 of you so far that have joined us. We're not quite live yet. Thank you for waking up. For the person who gave me a thumbs down already, I haven't even had time to offend you yet. Please get a cup of coffee. We will be talking about the market, the Fab Four futures, commodities, cryptos, movers and shakers. We will be looking at all the things. Hey Greg, hey Trade Brigade, Peculiar, Veronica, Dragon, Barry, Veronica again, Rosie. Thank you all. Thank you. I'm so glad Apple worked out for some of you. I hope it worked out for some of you yesterday. So we talked about 135.50 yesterday as resistance, and I believe it hit 135.53. So that's why we give our trades wiggle room. We like to say wiggle room, just giving it just that little skosh of room to work, because what market makers, or how the market works, is they run stops to the upside and to the downside, and then they reverse it. That happens a lot. We can't just give it infinite room, because that would be poor risk management, but we do give it just a little bit of wiggle room so that we can stay in a profitable trade. No problem, Benjamin. Thanks for joining us. We have 1 minute. I thought I would just share with you. It's called the Pre-Game Show. Jason, one of the TCG founders and partners, he said, we're going to pre-game tomorrow, and I liked the name and it resonated with me. I have a family full of athletes, children and husband and extended family. So I really like all things sports related. So if you see me or hear me use a lot of sports analogies, that's why. Understand, Rosie, completely understand. All right, It is 5:30 my time, 8:30 Eastern. Let's get started. So what you see are yellow, purple, green, red. It shows my chart layout, and I use the TTM squeeze, Thinkorswim default, and you'll hear me refer to these. And when I refer to them, 90% of the time I like to tell you why I use it and what it's telling me. If I don't, please ask. This show runs approximately 20 to 25 minutes because we have a live show that starts over in the Chart Guys, and I'm a member and partner in the Chart Guys. I'm a technical analyst. We teach technical analysis to our community. We have a thriving community that discusses the charts and the stock market all day during market hours and even after market hours over on TheChartGuys.com. So the pre-game show, what our goal is to just get our bearings for the day. So I'm going to clear this all out. All right, now let's get started with ES. Overall, we have red in the market. We have lots of red. We have RTY, which is IWM RUT, that is slightly green, but overall the market is red. Netflix was projecting 6 million subscribers first quarter of this year. They had earnings after hours yesterday where the chairman called it kind of wobbly. The numbers were kind of wobbly. They had approximately 4 million subscribers. So pretty big miss there, even though they announced $5 billion worth of buybacks planned in the next quarter. Overall, the earnings were digested bearishly. We don't have to know all of those details. I'm just sharing those with you. Some of them are fun facts. We don't have to know those. All you have to know is price action. Sometimes it's just interesting to see the news and see how price is reacting. So as always, we'll get started with ES. 4132.25 is that key resistance. We are now making a lower low. We actually have a broadening formation where we're getting higher highs, a little follow through, lower lows, a little follow through. However, this lower low is getting a slight amount of follow through. On any bounce, we'd expect a lower high. So let's zoom out. On the hourly, we ran into the 200 MA and we rejected, and now we're making that lower low. Your next support on larger term time frame is 4115, then 4113. Let me just zoom in a little bit. We see volume picking up here. I mean, it's not terribly concerning because this is just when everybody's waking up. If the volume continues to ramp throughout the day, that would be concerning. But when we see our volume pick up during the waking hours, that's just natural. That's going to happen. But overall, the market is on shaky ground today. I'm depending on the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, we have been going over, as part of the pregame show, the swing report service, the EMAs holding. We've been discussing this. The 4 hour EMAs have been holding for over a month. That is a trend trade. That's every time price comes back and touches the EMA. I could draw a million circles here. It was bought. The computers, the bulls, whomever you want to call it, they bought the trend trade with the 4 hour holding. We have our first EMA bearish cross. That is where the 8 EMA or your shorter term time frame EMA crosses over the longer term time frame EMA. We have our first bearish cross in over a month. That's significant. That kind of stands out. We are underneath the 50 MA and our EMAs on the 4 hour. And this is where I'm watching for price to get itself together in order to potentially go higher. This is where the work has to be done. The bulls have to show up. See, the bears have to show up to bring price down. Well, the bulls have to show up to rebuild the price structure, the chart structure, and get it back going higher. Until then, I'm staying bearish. If you're part of the TCG community, you can see over in options talk, I was discussing yesterday in depth my premium selling strategy, where when we got this EMA bear cross, I started selling call spreads up here, collecting the premium. And I will stay with that strategy as long as our 4 hour EMAs are overhead. So I just keep it simple for myself. All right, NASDAQ. Just making sure everything is working. RS, my EMAs are 8 and 21, and if you'll rewind, you'll see them. I printed them on the screen, what color means what. So NASDAQ is taking the brunt of the pain this morning. Netflix is part of NASDAQ, and it's also part of XLC, the communications sector. So within communications, we have those VIAC and DISCA names that got hit hard with that Archegos Capital debacle. We have Google within that, FOXA. So just all the communication names are part of XLC. So just watch XLC names. They may get pulled down a little bit heavier than other names like Apple. You would think Apple has a stronger correlation. Netflix, it doesn't. Google does. Google's part of it. It's a sister or a brother to Netflix because it's part of the same SPY sector. So with the NASDAQ, let's drill in a little bit. So 1378850, we have this little top that was set here and rejected with a little higher high, no follow through, and then we got the fall apart action. 13725 is your next support, then 13709. Going back to that 4 hour, we've got that bearish cross, and even with NASDAQ, we were holding it. We did not get an EMA bearish cross for a while. Even though NASDAQ was a laggard to ES, overall it has been in a trend trade, and now we are below those 4 hour EMAs, and the bulls have their work cut out for them. Now, I'm going to put an asterisk on all of these comments. I'm saying we're bearish, we're underneath the 4 hour EMAs. I trade price action. That is king, queen, prince, and princess to me. However, we are in earnings season. We have Apple, we have Google, we have Amazon earnings coming up. So all of this can change on a dime with some really big surprise earnings. So I'm not going to get too married to my idea. I'm going to trade it. Today's a 0 day. What does that mean? That means that we have SPX, SPY, QQQ, SPY, SPX, NDX. We have options that expire today. And I like selling premium on those 0 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where premium could collapse quickly on out the money, in this case, call spreads. And if you're bullish, out the money, put spreads. RTY is holding up just a little better. Well, we just went red, but it is one of the stronger sectors of our Fab 4. We just lost this little EQ pattern. 219940 is your resistance, then 219970, 217870, and 2177 are your nearby supports. We are not oversold on the 15-minute. Let's look at the 30-minute. We are not oversold. On the hourly, not oversold. Let's go back to NASDAQ. I didn't check that. NASDAQ on the 30-minute, not oversold. Yeah, we're not oversold on a lot of these time frames, so just be a little careful bottom fishing these names, because I'm used to seeing an oversold bounce when we are in larger term time frame uptrends, which we are on most of the Fab 4. We are in larger term time frame uptrends, but we are not in oversold territory. Dow resistance is up at 33753. We have a little double top here, then 33883. If we were to get through that, your next support 33625 and 33572. The Dow, we're coming in pretty hard on the 15-minute. We're approaching oversold, but we're not there yet. Now, let's look at the commodities. The high-low indicator is the pivots. That is pivots high-low in TradingView. So gold is definitely looking more bullish than our sectors. We got this lower low and we're V-shaping in. An aggressive bear could look to possibly short. I would round it up, just give yourself a little wiggle room to 1790. But overall, I don't know that I'd want to step in front of this bull train. When you short the big bull of the day, of the morning, it's just like walking up to the biggest bully on the playground. I'm talking about the really big guy, and punching him in the mouth. I don't know that that's a way to survive trading. You want to go pick on the scrawny little kids in the corner. And right now, gold is the big bully on the playground. So our resistance, 1788. You have support, 1782, 1777. Look at this bull volume coming in. Let me just kind of go back out to the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, we have this resistance at 1788.70, then 1790, support 1763. Odds favor a 4 hour EQ. When we say EQ, we're referencing an equilibrium where price just kind of settles sideways until the bulls or bears take back over. And if you're a bull and you're running hard, that just means you're coming to the bench, getting a water, grabbing a towel, taking a breather. It doesn't mean that you're leaving the race completely. Oil's getting a pretty proper beating this morning. On the hourly, we are oversold. Today is Wednesday, so we have inventory at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So just be aware of that if you're trading oil. 60.89 support holding for now. We got a double bottom at $61 on any bounce on the hourly. 62.56, 62.73 is resistance. But what would you anticipate we go all the way back up here without news? Maybe on inventory, but typically you're looking for a lower high. The question is, will it be an EQ or a bear flag? That's always the question on a bounce after a dump. So overall, oil is looking very bearish. Bitcoin. So let's zoom out on Bitcoin. We have daily inside bar. So daily inside bar, that resistance is up at 57,111 and support 53,430. Now let's zoom in a little bit. So on the hourly, we have lost. Well, the mouse has lost its connection, and we have lost our hourly uptrend. Your resistance on the hourly, 55764, 55175. You have support here at 54,334 and 53,430. So overall, Bitcoin on the 30-minute as well as a downtrend, and we are in a trend trade, which means every time we're hitting the shorter term time frame EMA, we're rejecting. So that is 4 times, well, let's say the first time set the precedent. The next 3 times you could have shorted Bitcoin. So as long as this hourly 30-minute EMA stay overhead, that's a trend trade, and you could short it until they change the trend. Ethereum 30-minute, much healthier. Look at this bull volume. You see this TTM squeeze? That means price just started storing energy here, and then now they're releasing the beast. They are releasing that stored energy. We're coming up on resistance 2364, then after 2364, 2397. You have support way down here at 2258, 2237. What happens if you miss this run? If you miss this run, just wait for a pullback. You don't have to chase it. When you see things running this hard, just think of a monkey climbing a tree and you're on the ground looking up, and what do you see? You see its butt. You see its butt exposed. You don't want to be the monkey in the tree with your butt exposed chasing it. So whatever analogy makes sense for you, to not chase names that have taken off without you, because trust me, there's plenty of opportunity in the market. All right, we don't have a lot of movers and shakers this morning. Our volume was pretty weak. I displayed this earlier. This was taken at approximately, well, now an hour ago, but overall volume is not really impressive. I put OCG in on our list because it had 1.5 million at about that time. So overall, looking at Apple, we had the event, which was a sleeper. Basically, it could have been wonderful if you're an Apple follower, which I am. Great news, but it was all anticipated. So when it's anticipated, you typically have a sell the news event, and it wasn't a huge sell-off. Just it was a sleeper. So overall, we have resistance at 133.44. So if you're trading this, if price comes up into, let's give it a little wiggle room, 133.50, you could short Apple there. And if it breaks through, you would then close out your short. 133.82 is your next resistance. Your support is 132.20 and then 131.81. If you're looking to bottom fish, you could bottom fish 131.81. And if we get a little 2-minute trend change, we'll get a higher high, higher low, and we change the trend shorter term time frame. You could bottom fish that 131.81, then use something like 131.75 as a stop. Futu, the offering was priced at $130. We got a piece of this beautiful move over here, and I learned a couple lessons. I may go a little bit longer today, so I'm sorry. I won't cut into our TCG pre-market show that starts at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. Eastern. But I do want to just cover a few lessons learned. This was running pretty hard into close, and the volume wasn't impressive compared to the opening volume. That was a sign to possibly either take all of your profits off of Futu or FUTU, just to be wary of these names. And then I had not noticed that it was a holdings company, Futu Holdings. Holdings companies, they're just kind of, it can be a shell game. You don't know what's inside the holdings. So names that have holdings within their proper name, for example, it's not Google Holdings, it's Google. So just, I'm going to be a little bit more what's the word, leery of names that have holdings in their proper name, because what do they do? Nobody knows. So it taught me a lesson. So I got out of my other half of my position at open while premiums were high on my options, but I didn't look the other way. By look the other way, I mean I could have gone short, and look at this short. It was a doozy. So anyway, we're always learning on names. $130 is where it was priced. We may see price bounce from there. I have no trades in FUTU right now, nor will I be watching it today. Johnson & Johnson had a pretty strong move yesterday. I was looking for a potential 4-hour bull flag. We're giving up a little too much here, but overall, just want to point out XLV has been a stronger sector. We saw money rotate over into names like UNH yesterday. Look at that beautiful move. Cigna. So overall Cigna, this is set up very nicely. This is actually a swing report name as well. So XLV healthcare name saw the love yesterday. So we're just going to follow the money. If you're looking for day trades, I would kind of stick a little closer to XLV names for bullish and XLC Netflix names to the bearish side. So with Netflix, if we look at the high of yesterday, pre-market action, yes, that was pre-market action to the after hours action. We're stuck right here at the 0.23649.972. If we were to bounce to that 511.92 area, I would be looking to short Netflix. Yes, I use Fibonacci levels to short or go long. Not always exclusively, but sometimes they provide just a really nice guide. So on Netflix, you have support down here at 480 and then a resistance, a Fibonacci level at 511. OCGN, lots of volume this morning. I was calling out of the room at 597. We have hourly inside bars forming here. That high 667, that low 583. We're running into the underside of 200 MA. We really need to get that hourly higher low and change the trend. Look how many times that we have these bull moves and they just fade. So I don't know what the news related with this name is, but just be careful. Let's zoom in for a few more levels. Well, 583 is that support and 667 resistance. Roku getting hit hard with a correlation. It's getting the correlation trade. Netflix missed earnings, and so bears piled into Roku. Did Roku have specific news? No, just correlation. They just got hit by association. So 33699 may be a level to bottom fish Roku. If we can get a little 2-minute price trend change around 336.99, it may be a level to go long Roku. Square, overall, I was looking at the daily. Okay, so we have an inside bar on the daily for Square. Resistance 253.30, low 242.58, and we are above the daily 50 MA. We have the bear volume increasing. I'd of course like that to subside, but man, if we could hold 242.35 area on Square, this may be an opportunity to go long, and I'm looking more for a swing. Typically in the morning, I'm talking to you about pre-market movers, shakers, day trading opportunities. You can also apply a lot of the lessons to swing trading, but on this particular name, I'm looking for a long. If that daily 50 MA holds, I am a Kmart blue light shopper. I love coupons, I love clearance, and Square may actually be on discount here. Tesla, I like to always end with Tesla and SPY because I know a lot of you trade this. 710.69 is your next support, then 707.74. Your resistance is up at 719, and then after 719, 721.63. And then finally SPY, and then I do have a couple other notes I want to just kind of share with you. So with SPY, we have 410.59. This is the level that bulls must hold. So the SPY bears are just jumping in here saying Netflix kind of ruined your party, SPY bulls, so we're jumping in. So let's see what the bears can pull off. Your resistance is up at 412.71, 412.77. So I'm going to say this a little bit slower because I know I talk fast. Your levels for SPY today, resistance 412.71, 412.77, support 411.07, and 410.59. So I wanted to share with you, let's go back to Tesla. This is something I was also pondering yesterday. Actually, I couldn't go to bed, sleep last night, and I was thinking, man, When Tesla pushes like this, so Elon refuted the logs of the Texas crash, saying it wasn't on autopilot. It got a price upgrade. So we had 2 positive news on Tesla. And we had the volume. Typically, this gets followed through. Why didn't it get followed through? I'm calling this the Cathie Wood effect. Cathie Wood is shifting her money, and she is going for the next trend. I'm going to date myself, like the parachute pants or Jabot pants or Z Cavaricci or Michael Jackson jacket. She is looking for what's the next trend. So over here, you see we get a pop and she dump it. Get a pop, dump it. Get a pop, dump it. She was moving her money over into the next thing. What's the next jelly shoes? You remember those jelly shoes? What's the next trend? And she was dumping her money into coins. COIN. And so this type of behavior is different. This is not normal characteristics of the way Tesla trades. What's the new dynamic? It's the Cathie Wood effect. She is going for the momentum trades. She's going for the hot stocks, and she is dumping whatever is not in favor anymore, like space. She dumped space, which Branson sold. I get it. I wouldn't want it if a large holding of it, if the number one holder was dumping his shares. That doesn't really build a lot of confidence. But this momentum type trading is really changing the way I trade. The way that I trade as an options trader, when I see this volume go through key resistance, I get in and I stay in. Well, I started taking profit yesterday, and then at this resistance 741.63, and then it just started pulling back pretty hard on volume. That's just a different dynamic in our market that we must account for. And then finally, I'll leave you with this. Actually, let me jump in the room, make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, I don't think there's anything major. Okay, so nothing major that I need to answer. It looks like that Jason is answering all the questions. Okay, here's the thought I'll leave you with. I get lots of messages. I lost money on this trade and it was the perfect setup. Let me tell you, as a day trader, this was the perfect setup for me. And I lost money on my last option scale that I held. Not everything's going to work. Accept it. It is part of trading. Our job as a trader is to trade the probabilities. I could go in today and trade 5 trades and all of them lose, stop out of all of them. And that's okay. I accept that going into the day. My job is to manage risk and manage probabilities. And that's your job. If you lose on 3 or 4 of your trades and you have 10 trades in the day, that's a pretty good day. The question is, on your winning trades, did you let them run? And on your losing trades, be very impatient. Throw them away. Be impatient with your losing trades and be patient with your winning trades. That's it for me today. I will see y'all over in the Chart Guys room for you TCG members. Let's go listen to what Dan has to say and what is he looking at this morning. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you spending your coffee hour or coffee 20-25 minutes with me, and I hope to see all of you tomorrow.